Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Thursday live stream. Before we start, I would like to say congratulations to everybody. We have been here for quite some time. You have been with me on this channel and this journey for years. And you might have heard this from your family members, friends, and loved ones, which is, why do you keep investing in Bitcoin and crypto? You know it's going to zero. It makes no sense. You should get into something tangible. Tulip mania, it's not going to work out. And now here we are. So today's a great day. And it's because of people like you who didn't listen to that nonsense. And you're here to reap the rewards. But I will remind you, there are some things that you have to do and must do moving forward. Before we get into that, let's just talk about what's happening. We're hitting all-time highs. We're hitting all-time highs with Bitcoin. Alts are lagging, but I think they're going to catch up. And we've been talking about this over the last week, 2 weeks or so. Just seemed like there was something happening in the background. Something about with Ethereum being put on the balance sheets, with different altcoins being started up for ETFs, which different staking services, in which all these different institutions putting everything on the balance sheet, not just Ethereum, but you'll have like the Solanas, the XRPs, Cardano, stuff like that. And it was just interesting about how this has happened like the last 2 weeks or so, when we've been pretty much dragging sideways. Now, during this time, you probably have done what I've done, which is just dollar cost average. Usually I buy a lot of Bitcoin, but alts seem to make it in there. I think nothing wrong with that. And here we are today. So I will just tell you that I have taken profits today because those are my rules. The very last rule underneath me, of course, the first one, it's all gone. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose. Everything's a scam. Don't leave things in exchanges. Don't use leverage and take profits on the way. I am taking profits. I don't know if we're going to keep going from here. So I would like to hedge my bet, take a little profits on some alts. And if we start to collapse again, which who knows, we're just one tweet away from that, I will have sufficient dry powder on the sidelines. That's just me being cautious. You don't have to be cautious. Do whatever you want. But that's just what I'm doing. So I thought I'd be honest with everybody. And that's what's happening. But there's this happenings in the background. I can kind of feel it. This was from my friend Caesar, and he sent me this from Instagram. He's like, hey man, is this something to get into? It was some Instagram influencer talking about Dogecoin. And I wrote him back and I took a look at it. I said, it's BS. Just don't get into it. That's stupid. And whatever these guys do, just run away. And of course, so far it's played out. But these are the same types of messages I used to get in 2021. And it seems like it's happening again. Then I got a message this morning from my brother. It's like, hey, somebody was talking to me about Bitcoin at work yesterday, and they said they actually watch you. And I was like, huh, that's interesting. So here we are moving in that direction, and the same type of vibes are happening. Now, does that mean that altcoin season is here and we're going to go to the moon and all that stuff? It's anybody's guess. But I will tell you, this is what I woke up to today. July 10th, DJT says, hey, tech stocks, industrial stocks, and NASDAQ hit an all-time record high. Crypto's through the roof. NVIDIA, I didn't know this. NVIDIA for AI, which I think also will be a big play in the crypto space and, of course, in traditional markets. NVIDIA is up 47%. Wow, since the tariffs. USA is taking hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs. Country is now black. Great credit. Back. Fed should rapidly lower rates to reflect this strength. USA should be the top of the list. No inflation. Of course, he's fighting with Jerome Powell. This is all great. I would give up some of this if he would release the Epstein files. Just saying, it's going to put it out there. It's kind of ridiculous. You can talk to me in the comment section later. But, you know, he's right. I mean, S&P 500, I don't think we're actually at an all-time high. Let me see here. Oh, maybe we are. 60, yeah, I guess we are. 62.82. Congratulations for S&P 500 holders. Then, of course, the majority of us are here. I don't think this is right. 112,000. Let me see. There, that's better. It's 113,372 for Bitcoin. 24 hours is up 2.8 or 3.8, I should say. I'm sorry. Ethereum in 7 days is up almost 10%. Again, we've talked about this. There's some reasons why a Bitcoin operation stopped all Bitcoin farming, sold all their Bitcoin and put Ethereum on their balance sheet. You can see that right here on this video we did. Actually, it's 2 days ago. It wasn't 1 day. But yeah, and here we are. XRP, 10% for the week, 4.7 for 20. I mean, everything's doing pretty good. There's some laggards somewhere. Is anything in the red? Well, stables. What's this? Yeah, stables. High network, I guess. OKX, down 2.8, whatever. But it's looking pretty good. And I like to see this. So this is the great things. And again, on some of these alts, I've taken profits today because I don't know what's going to happen. I would remind everybody, if you're like, should I take profits or not? I don't have your goals. My goals are totally different than your goals. My goals are totally different than, say, Michael Saylor's goals. So I don't know what you want to do, but I would recommend, if you could do anything, go to CoinLedger, which is the tax software I've been using for the past 5-6 years now. And they have a free portfolio tracker. Now, this is not my portfolio. They gave me a dummy account so I could show you. But what's great is that you can pull in all the data from all the exchanges that you're using. And don't lie, I know you're using a bunch just like me. From your DEXs, from your other hot wallets, from your cold storage wallets. And it just tells you like, hey, here's your unrealized profits and losses. And you can just pull that and go, okay, what? Well, this is definitely a dummy account, because who's in profit for Polygon? Oh, actually, no, it is down. So yeah, you can just take a look at this and go, hey, maybe I should pull some profits on, Chainlink. I'm up $300, take some $300 out. Or what's this one? I'm up Solana. Maybe I want to, take 5% profits or whatever. It's just an easy way to do it. And then when you want to do your taxes, all your data is right there. So it's pretty good. So just a little reminder. But the question I'm going to get, which is a legitimate question, is how high can we go? I have no idea. I think Bitcoin to $1 million, sure. Fartcoin to $10, probably not. So I don't know where it is, but this was a pretty good segment on Fox News. And this is, of course, TA. Take that with a grain of salt. But I thought it was interesting. I want you to play it. And sometimes I don't like playing these things, because I think it gives people too much hopium. But it is what it is. We should be celebrating. So I'm not going to be a Debbie Downer today. Take a listen to this. This is a little crazy. About 40 seconds.
As well. So I want to take another look at another name that you like here, and that's Bitcoin. Now, if I read the notes properly, did you say 140,000 for Bitcoin is possible from here?
It's very possible with
Really?
upside from there. And I don't want to oversell it. And look, I'll leave the story to the pomp, but I focus on the charts. And this chart is coiled like a spring here. Now, keep in mind, as many of these momentum stocks have surged off the bottom, Bitcoin's been doing yeoman's work of consolidating within this well-defined trading channel. But it is coiled, as I said, to break out and play catch up to names like Coinbase, names like Robinhood that are already back at the high. So a breakout above 110, which is last resistance, projects measured upside to 140 with upside from there to 170.
Okay, so here's my prediction. Bitcoin will be somewhere between $5 and $500,000 by the end of 2025. And so far, I am undefeated in all of price predictions, because no one knows squat, and they're all just guessing. There's educated guesses like that gentleman just gave us, but it was interesting, though, when he talked about the resistance level of 110, which we've gone through, and now we're hitting 113, maybe 114 today. Who knows? So that's what we have. But, hey, it's anybody's guess. And also, this was interesting. I found this from Bar Chart. And this is Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett's company. Maybe you've heard of it. But it states, and this is one of those things where, like, give it time, it'll probably go someplace. But I found this interesting. Warren Buffett might have to cancel the retirement party. Berkshire Hathaway has now underperformed the S&P 500 by more than 20 percentage points since his announcement, which is what they're going to sit on cash. And they're sitting on billions of dollars. So that's what everybody was freaking out about. Like, well, and I would not bet against Warren, but it is interesting that so far he's underperformed, but we'll see. So the last part I'll just say is this. Do we go against Bitcoin and go in heavy for altcoins? Well, here's Ben's site. I'm sure he would say no, because altcoin season isn't here yet, which I believe is actually true. And who knows? But there is some winners out there. And this is the Does It Bleed? Now, if you want to sign up for Ben's website, links in the description, 10% off the first month. And there's also a bunch of free sections in here, like the DCA stuff. But I want you to focus on is this side right here. If it's in green, it means that it's beating Bitcoin. If it's in red, it means it's losing. It's bleeding to Bitcoin. And you can see that as far as like Ethereum goes, it's been sucking everything after 3 months. 6 months, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. Well, I guess if you're in 6 years, you're up a whopping 5%, but still. But it's interesting. 1 day and 1 week, and then 1 month. But then over 3 months, it's actually outperformed Bitcoin by 28%. That was interesting. Now, of course, if we move forward over 6 months, 1 year, and 2 years, it's down a lot. But, you know, at some point, maybe it won't bleed. And here we are. How about XRP? Well, XRP, well, today it's down 0.16, but over a week it's outperformed, over a month it's outperformed, over 3 and 6 months it's been sucking. But 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, if you've been around that long, it's actually outperformed. So good job, XRP holders. What about BNB? Oof, awful. You could have just bought Bitcoin and done nothing, unless you were here for 5 years or longer. And then what about Solana? Not that great. You would think Solana's so great, but no. I mean, if you're here for 2 years, sure, but 1 day and 1 week, all right. But 1 month to 1 year, no. You're still bleeding. And then last two, we'll take a look at Tron, which one of my dark horses. If you've been here 6 months or a year, sure, but it's just more risky. So why would you have done it? And lastly, I think everybody likes this one. I like this one. How about Cardano? Oof, awful. 1 day and 1 week, but 1 month through 5 years, you've been sucking against that one. But that's what's happening right here. I will say, though, one thing to note, if we're going to talk about dominance, because you say Ben's name, you can't say dominance. It has been going down since the 26th of June. So we've had 65.17, and then we hit 64%, and then there's a lower high, I guess, 64%, this one right here. And now we're down in the 63.9. So who knows? Again, we'll see if Bitcoin dominance does it, but it's anybody's guess. But I will say, as far as like the top 200, things are looking pretty good. And that's it for today. So look, if you like today's video, thumbs up, subscribe, all that great stuff. Now we'll do a little Q&A session, and we'll get out of here and enjoy the fruits of our labor. So here we go. Let's see. Not too late says, even after me trying to get a family member to buy in at 30K for Bitcoin, now we're at 113K. They still think I'm the moron. That's okay. That's okay. Money's not everything, right? I mean, you just say, yeah, it kind of worked out. I don't know. Maybe you might want to look into that. Again, like at some point, maybe everybody's like me, or most people are like me, or some people are like me, which is, I'm just tired of like trying to convince people these days. I'm just like, people would, they say, hey, Rob, didn't you get into Bitcoin? Yeah. How long ago? 2017. Oh, you must have a bunch. Why'd you do it? Yeah, I just got lucky. Just got lucky. Should I do it? No, because I don't want to hear your crying and complaining when at one point it goes down 10%. So no, I don't have time. Let's see. And God bless you for everybody who's out there still trying to do it. Good afternoon, Rob. Another all-time high. Yes, not too bad. We need the sham wow guy to pitch crypto to normies. We got a bunch of those. They're all over YouTube. Let's see. Is tap water and PR safe for drinking? Any place in San Juan to avoid? I mean, I drink at the tap sometimes, but then you have to think to yourself, well, even if I get filtered water, how much fluoride is in that, right? RFK Jr. But yeah, I did see something about that fluoride study about how it decreases IQ points. Did you know it was based on like 5 times the actual limit that they put in the normal tap water? It wasn't like that's in every single city. It was just interesting how they just kind of omitted that whole part, but it's a narrative, I guess. What happens when Berkshire Hathaway buys huge bags of Bitcoin and blows a hole in the atmosphere? First of all, I mean, Warren Buffett he didn't understand Google. And it took him a long time to get into that, and then it became a chunk. Same thing with Apple. He didn't get that until like 2016. So I think it's going to take him a lot longer for Bitcoin. I don't think he'll ever get it. That's okay. It's not for everybody. Rob, you're having a great day. I love what you do. You're doing a great job. Thank you, Salim. I appreciate that. I'm trying. Ahmed says, retrace the 95K. What do you think? Let's hope so. Does anybody really want to buy Bitcoin at 114K? Or would you rather just buy it at 95K and just let it pump again? As a certified moron, I find that very offensive. Gas fee is not a moron. Not with that sharp wit. Where will we retrace to, Rob Knight? I guess. I don't know. I'm not the TA guy. Go watch Tom Crown. He's really good at that stuff. Yeah. CBK says, just take methylene blue with MAC-B vitamins. Remove your system toxins that are not supposed to be in your system. You know, I've been taking methylene blue now for 6 months or so. Seems to help with mitochondrial health and energy levels, so sure. And maybe a tie into eliminating zombie cells, which can fluctuate into cancerous cells. Anybody's guess. Not against the euro. Yeah, the USD is down 10% of the year. Let me check on that, which is true, actually. But you know what's great about when the Dixie goes down, Bitcoin usually goes up. And when the Dixie goes up, or the dollar strengthens, then Bitcoin usually goes down. So right now, we're down on the dollar, which is great. And then Bitcoin goes. Argentina says, thanks to Bitcoin pump. Exactly. Adewell says, will September be a red month? It's a good question. So let's take a look. That's not it. Here we go. So this is the Bitcoin monthly returns table. And what you'll notice is that you'll have the rows, which are the years, 2025, 4, 3, 2. And then the columns are the months of the year. So historically speaking, September is, I think, the worst month, not just for the crypto market, but for all markets. Out of the last, how many years does it go back? 15, 14 years, September has been a dog of a month for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 out of 14. Or 10 out of 15, I should say. That's pretty bad. And that's not just here, that's in the S&P 500, that's in NASDAQ, that's in everywhere. So interesting enough, though, the last 2 years, 2024 and 2023, it's been a reasonable month, 6.13, 8.35. But of course, the big months are usually October, November, December, with November being a pretty great month. Not all the time, but historically speaking, November is like one of the best months. So that's why everybody's really just trying to get to that finish line, which is November. But as far as September, there's this old adage, right? Sell in May and go away. And then people start to pile back in October, and November they take a bunch of profits, or they let it ride and take profits in December. So historically speaking, yes, but the last 2 years has been pretty good. So it's anybody's data. Who knows? Who knows? Robbie, look a bit blue today. I'm just tired. Had a late night and then early morning training session. So it's one of those days. And then here in Texas, it's almost noon and I need to go get a steak and eggs and bacon because I'm starving. It's been one of those like quick fasting sessions. So I break that with, big fat, well, usually avocado, then a big fat steak and eggs, 5 or 6 of those, and then 6 to 8 pieces of bacon. Hey, Rob, are you in the extended cycle camp? Seems to be the new narrative. We'll see if that plays out. I remember that happening in 2021. Didn't work out too well. But, I heard since I was in 2017 that Bitcoin would get an ETF. And I was like, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. And then I saw it. And I'm like, oh, there you go. So extended cycles, sure, I guess. That'd be great because then we could just keep, selling off if we really wanted to. And then some people say, no, this is all commodities. This is a commodity super cycle. And it's not going to go down ever again. It's just going to be like gold. Okay. We'll see. Oh, look at that. We use IV methylene blue in the ICU for O2 transport when septic. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we ever did that. We do the vitamin K injections, do the IVs. But mostly it was like in the ER is dehydration, so it lactated ringers. You know how it goes. Let's see. Left translated cycle. AJ, I think Rosman's saying peak expected in September, October. No, I don't know. I mean, historically speaking, you really think it's going to be October, November, December, somewhere around there. When will Solana network crash again? It's been doing pretty good. It's been pretty heavy on the blockchain. So I think maybe it's out of that. Maybe it won't go down again. Those are famous last words, though. CBK, woohoo. No extended cycle of anything. It's speeding up due to hash rate increasing as more miners are onboarded. September, October peak. You know, it's a good question. Are we at all-time highs for the Bitcoin hash rate? I don't think we are. This is from blockchain.com. Holy smokes, that's not what I want to do. So as of 9 July, oh no, we are, excuse me. No, we're not. God damn it, I hate these things. Hold on. What's the hash rate? See, that's why you gotta love Ben's website. It's got everything there that you want. Okay. So hash rate itself is 953.5. Tell me in the comments, is it exahashes? Is it gigahashes? I always get these confused. But the all-time high for the hash rate was actually 10 of June, 2025. So we actually have decreased. I will say, though, it does make sense now why some of those companies, like which one was it? Bit Digital. They converted their Bitcoin mining operation, sold their Bitcoin, and just went all in on Ethereum. Because when you think about it, how difficult is it to compete here with all of the Bitcoin miners out there and all the subsidies they get and all the advancements that they have? It's got to be tough for a small mining operations. I mean, not that Bit, what is it called? Bit Ledger? Bit Digital. It was a small one, but I mean, to compete with some of these monsters, you might as well just go someplace else. But yeah, good point, CBK. Let's see. What else we got? Yeah. 2020 all-time high was supposed to be 300K at least according to BitBoy. Poor BitBoy, man. I saw his mugshot. Oof, tough one. I feel bad for, I mean, not just for him, but imagine his family. That's got to be tough. So best of luck to him. So ignoring Cardano questions. Shinzo, what is your Cardano question? Is it going to go to the moon? Sure. I sure hope so. I got a big fat bag. Yep. Buenos dias, Rob. Un gran día para los criptomonedas. Yes, it's a very big day. I like it. I like these days because then everybody's much nicer. It's like when you live in Texas and the Cowboys win, everybody's a lot more pleasant on Monday. It's crazy. Hey, Rob, love the all-time high today, but it brings out the moon boys. I'm getting a bit sick of my YouTube recommend all the wide open mouths. Have you got anyone you follow to recommend for us? Yeah, follow Wes over at Smart Money Tracking. That's a good one. You guys already follow Guy and Ben. You already follow Tommy Crown. So give Wes a follow. You know, he's one of the few that actually nailed it for, you know, selling late last year. He's like, hey, this is what the data says. This is what the smart money's doing. So I'm just going to sell. And a lot of his altcoins, I mean, altcoins still haven't hit all-time highs, the ones that he sold. So, yeah. And Crypto says, Solana hasn't crashed in over a year. See, there you go. Charlie Brown says, Kita. Kita is one of the fastest, but it's very unproven. And I don't think they, like, here, I'll show you. This is from ChainSpect. Oops. So ChainSpect.app, when we're talking about how fast things move. And everybody focuses in on TPS, transactions per second, but that's not really the best way to look at it. It's actually the better way to look at it is, where did it go? Commands per second. This is from a blog post from Sui. So commands per second instead of transaction per second offers a more precise measure of the work. Most transactions on Sui utilize programmable transactions block, or PDBs, which allows a single transaction. Now check this out. A single transaction. So you have TPS, transactions per second. Let's say you had 1,000, you had 100 transactions per second going on. Then you're just like, oh, that sucks. It's 100 TPS. But for PTBs, it allows a single transaction to bundle together up to 1,024 separate operations. So that essentially would be 100,000, 240, which on other chains would require multiple individual transactions. And I think that's where people get a little confused on some of these newer chains. And it's also the same thing on Cardano. People will say, well, it's like, I don't know, like 3 TPS. So who cares? But if you take a look at within each one of those transactions, there's more transactions. The difference here is, though, is that even if you take a look at Cardano, and there's a good website called EUTXO, which for some reason doesn't come up, even though I bookmarked it about 1,000 times, it'll show you the different transactions that are going on for each block that's being minted. And you can see within these 2 transactions, you got multiple things inside. The problem is, if you count this up, you're like, who cares? This is like what, 22 actual transactions? And it'll go through as time goes on. I think after like, come on, every 10 seconds, something like that. Right? So this is 0.6 transactions per second, potential maximum 3.73. So yeah, come on. Oh, well, so that's that. But yeah, if you take a look at Sui or Sui, and we take a look over here, which do they even have Sui? Yeah. You got 44 transactions per second. The hypothetical max is 926. If you're taking a look at this, but theoretical maximum is 120,000, which is pretty massive. And the most they've ever done is 160,000. So with Sui or Sui, and Solana, of course, is over here. And then people say, well, it'll be even faster. Sometimes I don't really think it's so much the transactions per second, the finality. I mean, again, look at what Robinhood chose. They didn't choose Solana. They chose Arbitrum, layer 2 solution. And of course, people say, well, it's faster. It's faster. Sometimes the fastest horse doesn't always win. Look at Swift and every bank that's out there. It's a piece of trash. Yet they all use it because they all have a hive mind. Going back to the main talking point, Rob, Kita. Oh, it's not even listed now. But with Kita, let me see here. It's not, here it is. You see Kita? It's got a max TPS, 11,122,116, which is interesting because the max theoretical is 10 million, but whatever. But if you take a look at the volume, it's 11. Block time and finality 0. But I mean, come on, 11. You got to prove it to me. And I'm not going to go all in on Kita. And I don't think any business is going to go on Kita or anything like that, just because it's super fast and it's not been battle tested. Look, if I'm a multi-billion-dollar company, say like Robinhood, and I think to myself, okay, well, things are going pretty good. Maybe I don't want to have any kind of issues like hacks, and maybe just because something is super duper fast, but it's not proven, let's just put a big chunk of our customers' funds on there hope everything doesn't work. Hope everything works out. I think they're going to be a little bit more careful. I could be wrong. What else we have today? I'm in. That's a bit rough. True. Caspa community is great. Everybody's great. Caspa's great. AI labor and AI transport is the future. I agree. Optimus and Cybercab also agree. Kita is backed by Google. You know what else is backed by Google, which was they were a validator chain? Theta. Remember Theta? How great that was going to be? It's going to change everything. And then, of course, there's somebody in the comment section will say, well, Theta is doing these great things and blah, blah, blah. I'm sure it is, but the price action doesn't reflect that. And they were backed by Google too. So Google's big enough to back about 1,000 different blockchain companies. And they're just like us. They're just a big giant VC. And they'll put money here, they'll back here, they'll do this, they'll give support here, because they know out of the 100 that they do, they're just looking for the top 2 or 3. So, I mean, good luck to Kita. I'm not going to invest in that. Be careful out there, lots of liquidations. Yeah, everybody that went short. Sorry, short. But you know, it'll be fine. Yeah, Papa White, Papa Wheelie. Did you see Charles Hoskinson on Sean Ryan's show? Hoskinson admitted he has so many different companies. He's not focused on it at all and doesn't care about it. Something to watch. I did not see that. That interview that you're talking about was 5 hours long, so I haven't seen the whole thing. There were some sections I watched, but that is very telling. Not a good look. Not a good look. But then people will say, well, Charles Hoskinson isn't Cardano, and Cardano isn't Charles Hoskinson. And that's true. It is a decentralized platform, right? And it's supposed to be governed in that way. So if Charles steps away, then it should just work fine. No problems. We'll see if it stands up. Such a good interview. I got to check it out. And let's just leave it here. Chris is right. I'm not sorry for the shorts. That's what they get. Exactly. Because you know what? We're the ones that did the hard work. So if you want to gamble and short something on leverage, you reap what you sow. That's it for today. So you like today's video? Thumbs up, subscribe, all that great stuff. And then that should be it for today. Tomorrow I will be maybe indisposed, so I don't know if we'll be doing a live stream, but we'll definitely see you Saturday. That's it for today. So thanks so much, everybody. I appreciate you stopping by. And enjoy the day, because you deserve it. Adios.